One of the most important files for successful setup and development time execution is the npm package file, or package.json. When setting up Angular, we use npm to install the Angular libraries and all of their dependencies. And we use npm to run scripts, such as npm start to launch our application. Looking at the contents of this file provides helpful insight into how npm knows what to do. This file contains basic information about the application, such as the application name, version, author, description, and so on. For our purposes, the key settings in this file are scripts, dependencies, and dev dependencies. These are the settings that provide the magic when installing and running an Angular application. Let's look at the dependencies first. In this file, there are two sets of dependencies. The dependencies define the libraries that our application needs to run. Here is Angular, System.js, our module loader, and reactive extensions, for example. And I added Twitter Bootstrap here because we use it in the sample application for styling. The dev dependencies define the additional libraries we need for development. Here is where we define TypeScript and some support libraries that the scripts use. We'll talk about these scripts in a moment. At the beginning of this course, we set up Angular by typing npm install from the folder containing this file. When we issue that command, npm reads these dependencies, locates each of these libraries in its repository by name, and installs the specified version. But please note that at the time of this recording, Angular is still in beta. You will most likely see different version numbers than shown here. Feel free to add or modify these entries as needed to include any other third-party library or npm package. Up here, we see the list of scripts that we can run with npm. We can execute any of these scripts from the command line using npm run and the script name, except for start, which does not require the run keyword. Using npm run tsc runs the TypeScript compiler. We can use the -w flag with the TypeScript compiler to run the compiler in watch mode. This keeps the compiler running, awaiting changes to any TypeScript files, and recompiling as needed. Light Server is a lightweight static file server that we use to run our application without any backend server, and was specifically written for Angular 2. Using npm start runs the TypeScript compiler and the Light server at the same time. So whenever we save a change to any of our files, TSC will recompile them, and Light server will refresh the browser automatically so we can immediately see our changes. We saw this in action throughout the demos in this course. Using npm run typings runs the typings tool. For TypeScript to be strongly typed, it needs to know about each library's types. These files are stored in TypeScript type definition files, indicated with a d.ts extension. Most libraries install their own associated TypeScript type definition files, so we don't have to do anything extra to install them. We put any other typings files in the typings.json file. For Angular, we need a typings file for the ES6 shim. We'll talk more about shims in a few moments. Running the typings tool installs any typings defined in this file. We can see this one was installed here and here. Going back to the packages.json file, post install is called by npm automatically after it successfully completes the installation of the package. Here we have set up post install so that after npm install is complete, any TypeScript type definition files in the typings.json file are installed as well. Now let's move on to the index.html file.